KB here with the Color Grade podcast, and my question is for Craig. So, over the course of the development of this show, I've seen the first four episodes. They're fantastic, and I'm really loving the direction that these characters are going in. But talk a little bit about, which character was the most rewarding to flesh out over the course of this season.
Which character was the most rewarding? Well, I mean, considering I have Mara and Jill here, that's a very dangerous question. Better to say maybe Dion, little Dion. No, I definitely think the most rewarding character, so to speak, is actually the friendship dynamic between Delilah and Tamara. Midway through the development of the show, we had a whole other storyline that then we scrapped because of the way things went in America, where we just decided we didn't need to do that story anymore. So we changed the story and we totally focused it on Delilah and Tamara and their friendship. And it really helped coalesce the show and what the show could be about. Not just for those two, but for all the friendships and relationships between the Black women on the show. But watching their sisterhood fray over the course of the season and just beginning to get little hints about where the blind spots in that relationship are and what the struggles that both of them have faced are that maybe each one of them isn't quite as attuned to as they thought they were. Because obviously any woman in the world, but certainly Black women in America, have a lot of compromises they got to make along the way to pick and choose what kind of life they want. And these two characters have made a lot of very specific choices. And so over the course of the season, those choices and the effects of those choices bump up against each other. So, I mean, if the fun of writing is digging in to the questions no one has maybe taken the time to ask quite clearly yet, that was definitely the most inspiring part of the process.
Hey B again, and my question is actually for Charles. So you have directed, episodes of some very iconic TV shows, from Lincoln Heights to Greenleaf, of course. So talk a little bit about how you approach directing Delilah, particularly since you're also an EP, and how that challenged you professionally.
The thing that I wanted the most was to make it authentic and to make it organic. As Craig said earlier, that I really wanted to find that authenticity, and through of the actors, through also being at home, being sure that we were in the right places, that the house felt right. It was in the right neighborhood, the apartment, what people are wearing, how they feel. All those things were such a touch because all of you will know that. And I have to say, doing this right now and seeing your faces, it's just stunning. Thank you. It's just so great to see all of you smiling back at us. That's, again, when I talked about hope before, that's what this is, because I think there's a real renaissance in television, and that people of color are finding more and more voices, and we don't have to be myopic. We don't have to be in a box. And so this to me was throw this open and not be afraid to be normal. And because we're always, as I said, over the top, I wanted to see these women regular women who are extraordinary. And so that was the idea for me always. What is the real part of this? And working with Mara and Jill, we had so little time because of all the protocols, but we always tried to discuss what that was. We always tried to find every single thing that it rang true. And if it didn't, we would take the time to figure it out. It would make us late. We would have things we were wondering how we're going to get through this day. But it was really important that we all were on the same page of this creation. So Craig mentioned specificity. It's being organic and authentic, because that's the present that I hope we give to audiences.
Yeah, I think that there's a phrase that just occurred to me that I want to throw out there. I remember a couple of years ago, there was that phrase peak TV. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah.
P-E-A-K TV. And I think it's almost silly when you look back at it, how that word was used. And What I feel like we're entering now is maybe a phase of peaks TV, in the sense that it's not about one giant mountain of greatness. Now there's room for different worlds, for specificity in different areas. You know, a show that's just about Charlotte, a show that's just about these people, just about those people. It doesn't have to be for everybody. There is no one peak TV anymore. Now there's room for different kinds of television, for different kinds of people, and it's okay that people are different. And there's enough of an audience for everything to be happening. And so I just think that's so much more exciting, that kind of diversity, than that old-fashioned notion that there's this one giant mountain of greatness. I think it's time for lots of mountains, lots of them.
And also, Craig, the women and the men in this show exist in every town, in every city. And that's what I also love, that these are the people we know, and we get to celebrate them, and that doesn't happen. And so ultimately for me, in directing it, it was the celebration of